Welcome, everybody. Excited for today's conversation. My guest today is Tre Forte, Chief Marketing Strategist and founding member of TNT Growth, a paid media agency known for helping businesses scale revenue and reduce their cost per acquisition through data-driven paid advertising programs. Trey, you've got a super unique background, really interesting background. Looking forward to diving into it with you. You played college football at one of the country's top programs, Ohio State. You've partnered with Fortune 500 brands, developed marketing strategy. You've helped build custom CRMs, streamline operations, focus on process optimization and proven growth strategies. You're driving real results for clients, and I'm excited to pick your brain. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for the awesome intro. I'm looking forward.
Sounds good. Let's start with the current day, TNT Growth. How would you describe what TNT Growth offers?
Good question. So, my current day as a chief marketing strategist is typically I'll start off the first hour of my day just going through a performance audit of the previous day's performance for all my accounts. I'll look and see how we spent the previous day, cost per click, conversion rates. Was anything off? Did something stick out? Was it a huge decline in conversion volume? I just look for those types of things so I can be proactive in identifying a problem because normally if you check just once a week, by then, if something bad happened on Thursday, if you check again next Wednesday, it's like you've already had basically more than one, two, three, 4 wasted days. I try to be very proactive when I look into performance. I make optimizations daily.
I love that. I love that. I don't know if there are too many agencies that are really checking in every single day, first thing in
Yeah,
the
no,
morning.
there's
Yeah,
not.
that's impressive. So, when you're looking at performance, are there any specific service lines or channels where you're looking for something specific? Just tell me what you might find in one of those performance audits.
Yeah. So one of the advantages that we have is that we have all our marketing sources on one unified dashboard. So I can see how Google Ads perform, how Facebook performed, how Yelp performed. And I do all of those things because, typically when we have a client, they're not just running Google Ads, they're running multiple marketing channels that impact the funnel. I look at all of those channels' performance for the previous day. If something's off on a day, I'm not quick to make a change. Then I look at the last 7 days, the last 14 days, so I can identify trends when it comes to those things.
Nice, nice. So that dashboard you look at in the morning, is that a third-party platform or did you guys develop
Yes.
that in-house or?
Super helpful. Not to get too geeky, but basically we take data from the client's source of truth, which will be their like CRM. It can be HubSpot, it can be Salesforce. Then we integrate that with our source of truth, which is the ad platform. So it could be Google Ads, Facebook ads. And then we
Mhm.
connect those with like a data platform, like a funnel. And then look at our unified dashboard on Tableau, connecting the client's data, ad platform data, and our data on one unified dashboard. Yep.
So I know you've helped several brands, go from whether it might have been even four figures, but typically five figures, six figures into seven, eight-figure territory. What have you found are the biggest unlocks that really move the needle for somebody, whether they're going from four to five, five to six, six to seven?
I love this question because we work with clients of all sizes. We work with clients that spend over $1 million a month on paid advertising, but we also work with clients that come to us with the 5 to 10K budget for that first month. Often what I see is that they just think that the answer to get leads is just to start running paid ads without strategy. An approach we take is identifying the full funnel. We identify pre-click, putting together the campaigns, the ads, and making sure that your ads show to the right people at the right time, but also post-click after they click your ad. They're taken to a landing page. What happens on that landing page? Do they just view it, scroll through, and don't convert, or do they convert? And then it's post-click after post submission. So it's like, okay, they get to the landing page, they do exactly what you want them to do, which is fill out a form to request a demo or meet with you. Now, what happens if we get high quality leads, but you don't have an effective nurturing process to make sure that these people show up to their appointments, then it's all for nothing. A lot of times people understand the first two parts, but don't understand the importance of the nurturing system and that different channels have different levels of intent, right? Quick question. If you were at home and your toilet got clogged, you needed it fixed now, where would you go?
Going to Google.
Exactly. You wouldn't go to Facebook, right? You wouldn't go to
Mhm.
Facebook looking for plumbers. You're going to go to Google. But let's say like a week before, you might have been scrolling on Instagram and then you've seen an ad for like the top plumbers in Fort Lauderdale. You'll have that brand recognition in your mind. So if the problem does arise, you do a Google search to meet those people, right? Or find those people. Just understanding the different levels of intent and learning how to leverage each channel and nurture those people for where they are in the customer journey.
I certainly I'd never put it as succinctly as you did, but you do run into the client or the prospect will say, like, yeah, just get me the leads. I'll take care of it from there. Everybody thinks their close rate is 90%. Like, just make my phone ring. It's going to be easy. Now you're going to have to call people back, take down their information. The amount of lawyer intake training I do, I should start a lawyer intake training company. You bring up a great point to bring that up with them right up front. Be like,
You
look,
have to.
I can go from here to here, but you've got to take over and do a good job. And here are the tools that I have that can help you do a good job with
Exactly.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes you need to give those people guidance because they don't know, especially if
Yep.
they're a startup and learning on the go. But if you set realistic expectation for them and you give them like templates or guidelines and let them know what's worked for other people in the same industry, then that can go a long way.
Yeah. I was checking out the TNT Growth website, and a lot of your testimonials, not only do they talk about great results, but they do talk about like getting clarity and really having a structure behind everything. Is that something that you like purposely build into your onboarding and into your client communications? Or is that something that, hey, this is how we approach it and it's just a very clear way? I'm wondering if that happened organically.
Yeah, our onboarding is extensive. We place ourselves in the shoes of the ICP, so the ideal customer persona for this specific client that we're working with, and we
Mhm.
identify the full funnel. Like we need to know the ins and outs. We need to know what messaging is going to resonate with these people. Who are these people? Like what is their job? What is their age, demographic, other interests that they have? What type of groups are they in? Because we're crafting our ad copy and our keywords tailored to those people. Something that got us to this point. So before TNT and before I met Adam, the CEO, I worked at a large marketing company down in Miami, and I was basically a generalist. So I was head of paid social. My job was client acquisition for paid social channels. And I knew a little bit about SEO. I knew a little bit about Google Ads. I knew a little about Facebook ads, TikTok ads, those things. And I really thought I knew a lot about marketing until I met Adam. CMO for Zinnia Health. He worked with Salesforce on marketing. Talking to him, I realized how much of a generalist I was, and I learned from him every day, and it made me the specialist in Google Ads and Meta Ads that I am today. The common mistake I see other marketing companies do is they hire a bunch of generalists that know a little about each thing, but they're not a specialist. So you've heard of the phrase, you try to become a master of all, then you become a master of none. We hired a different specialist. If we bring on a growth manager for Google Ads, that person has 5 to 10 years of experience in Google Ads. If you want to run meta ads, well, we took the initiative to bring our head of growth, Tim, from one of the most premier meta ads agencies. So we have specific people in their jobs and pride ourselves on getting the best people and the best tools and the best techniques and just training them up to speed. And that's what made us who we are today, growing these companies.
There really are specialties. Each one of these platforms has their own intricacies, their own ways of handling things and what works and what doesn't, from messaging to tactical stuff inside the platform, specialists in each one of these. We say, I definitely have heard that saying, and one I use a lot. My team gets annoyed with me because I say it a lot, but it's go an inch wide and a mile deep. I don't need you. You're the Google Ads guy. I don't need you to go learn Facebook ads. I want you to be the best Google Ads
Exactly.
guy you can be. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I
So
love that.
I've been focusing more on client acquisition now. I still dive into like our bigger accounts, like the ones that are spending like $1 million a month or a couple $100,000 a month on ads. When I bring on new clients and audit those accounts, I can always find something that can be improved. Our optimizations typically lead to at least a 20% boost in conversion rates. And the first thing I ask them is, how long have you been dealing with these declining performances? How long have you had this concern? Then I ask, who's managing your ads? And they'll tell me it's either in-house with somebody who's not as experienced, and then that's obviously the problem, or they'll say that they're working with an agency and it's just one person managing their Facebook ads, their Google Talk ads, and I'm just like, well, that's the issue right there. Each one of those platforms are complex and changing continuously, and
Mhm.
if that person isn't staying up to date, with the new changes, the new rollouts and betas and all the updates, then you're essentially just going to be stagnant and
Yeah.
see declining performances.
Yeah. I remember I'm an old guy, so I've been around this stuff for a while. Before Canva, people would tell me I'm a graphic designer, and then they would show me their work, and I'm like, no, you know how to use Photoshop. That's not making you a graphic designer. There's a difference
Yeah.
there, and there really is a difference when it comes to each one of these different platforms. So
Mhm.
now that you're transitioning into being, more into client acquisition, you have to talk to clients and prospects about these different channels and platforms and know how they all work. Is there anything you're seeing in terms of, the different channels or a different service offering or a different way to position things now that you're transitioning to this different world of client acquisition? Anything that gets you excited to talk to prospects and clients?
Yeah, the top things I identify first in an account and like where maybe performance is like starting to decline and why it is number one is going to be conversion tracking. First thing I check to see is are they tracking conversions? Do they have a template in place to, grab things like the campaign name, the keyword that drove a specific lead, the ad groups, the content? That's super important. If you're getting leads but don't know which campaign they're from or what keywords are triggering high quality leads, how can you make informed decisions about your marketing spend? Quick story, I was auditing a PPC account and then I was on a call with the CFO and the CEO. And a red flag that I saw was that they didn't have any tracking on their website. Their campaigns were running, but they didn't know where leads were coming from. The CFO wanted to cut Google ad spend. And the first question I asked was, okay, so if you cut Google ad spend, then where's your lead volume going to come from? And he didn't really have an answer. So one of the first changes that I made with them was implementing code on the website that'll dynamically populate the UTM term, UTM campaign, UTM keywords when somebody filled out a form. So you have those tracking templates in Google Ads that automatically populate at the end of the final URLs, and then that data gets input into the form via hidden fields. So then when you want to make a data-driven decision, okay, we've just found out that 80% of our leads came from this campaign or 60% from this specific keywords. Now we can put more money towards those things and cut money from keywords we're spending. To
Yeah.
summarize, the first thing I look at is conversion tracking. Then I look back 30 to 60 days to see where wasted spend has gone on campaigns or keywords without driving conversions. Those are the two things I can identify very, very quickly.
Yeah, it's amazing that, I mean, companies spending tens of thousands of dollars with no tracking in place. It's interesting because it used to be that that was what drove people to digital marketing was the tracking, right? They were leaving traditional TV, radio, magazines and coming to where it could be tracked. And it seems like now digital has become their first idea and they've kind of forgotten about tracking. The value proposition is we can track it. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
always interesting when you see that.
Yeah, and the tracking is what actually trains the algorithms. So it's like
Hmm.
you set up tracking and you like sending or you're sending data from your CRM back into the ad platforms. A lot of people don't know about something that's called OCI. It's called offline conversion imports. Let's say you spent $1,000 on Google yesterday, and that $1,000 got you 10 leads. If eight of those leads are unqualified, if you don't send that conversion data back into Google, Google still thinks it did a great job. And it's going to get you eight more conversions the next day. And then seven of them will probably be unqualified. And then next thing you know, you spent $50,000 in a month and gotten 100 leads, but 80 of them are unqualified. Offline conversion imports basically means that if you mark a lead unqualified in your CRM, it sends that conversion data back into Google. Instead of showing 10 conversions, it shows us two that were actually qualified. It reduces the amount of, time and money that you spend towards unqualified leads. Now, I'd say 95% of advertisers don't know how to do it or just don't even know that you can do that.
Yeah, yeah, that is something that you see missed a lot. Do you work with like I don't well tell me what industries you typically work with because I know it can get tough. Like sometimes that data you're sending back to Google through a CRM, sometimes it might be through a point of sale system or what are the different industries that you focus on?
We don't discriminate. We work with law firms, we work with rehab drug centers, we work with healthcare, cybersecurity, hospitality, e-com stores. So yeah, we have a wide variety of clients that we work for in industries. And that's what helps with creative. We're one of the only agencies that offer ad platforms, we offer creative, analytics, and engineering. Because typically, if a client wants to get those things, they have to go through two or three different vendors. But we do everything
Right.
in-house, which streamlines communication, so everybody's on the same page when it comes to marketing, messaging, and just getting those ads out to the right people at the right time.
Looking forward, is there anything you're looking at right now, any emerging ad platforms or tactics that you're keeping a close eye on?
Yeah, I just got invited to Google headquarters in San Francisco as a top 1% advertiser for Google Ads. They're rolling out something pretty cool called AI-powered Search Max. It's enhancing the way that search campaigns can be used in like broad match keywords. It's enhancing those.
Mhm.
And then something else they're rolling out is AI Google Ads agents, which can identify tracking issues and give you recommendations on how to fix it. Or if you approve it, it can fix the tagging on your website and enhance your conversion actions on its own. That's something super cool they're rolling out.
Right. I'm looking forward to that. Finding folks who are really good at installing conversion tracking and know what they're doing can be difficult. To know that Google's working on trying to make that a little bit easier is kind of exciting. Congratulations on being a 1% advertiser in Google Ads. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it looks like Google's really doubling down on AI, not only with SEO and in their search engine results pages, but it looks like it's going to be coming in a big way to the Google ad platform. Going to have to get myself caught up on that stuff.
Because a lot of people have been complaining about paying for ads, but now you have the AI overviews taking over a lot of space. When I face clients concerned about that, I tell them the AI overviews aren't necessarily a problem for the paid acquisition side because the AI overviews are aimed for like more SEO and informational queries. So if
Right.
somebody's asking, what is estate planning or elder law? Then the AI overviews are going to show like if you have an FAQ page on your site, the AI overviews will pull from those. Now, if somebody's typing estate planning attorney near me, the overview isn't going to show up for that. You're going to see those three sponsored ads for estate
Yeah.
planning attorneys.
It may even help because right
Right.
now you're paying for a lot of those informational clicks, and the chances of them turning into a lead are pretty low.
Exactly.
Google's seeing all of that. They're going to do everything they can to keep Google Ads being the cash cow that it is. I got
Exactly.
faith in that. I want to change topic real quick, Trey. I know you played football at Ohio State. I got to ask a couple questions about that.
Sure.
What skills did you learn there that you've brought into the business world?
Oh man, I love talking about this because it's super passionate for me. A lot of people don't know that I was a walk-on at Ohio State. Coming out of high school, I was 157 pounds. I was skilled. I used to tell people hey, I'm going to Ohio State. I'm gonna play football there, and they would look at me like I had five heads, like I was a crazy person. And I was really the only person that believed that it would actually happen. And then I trained every day from the moment I walked on campus. And within like 3 months, they offered tryouts. And it was like one of like 70 kids there, the lightest person there. And I prepped myself and I worked every single day so that by the time trials came, the drills and things that I did there were easy. When preparation meets opportunity, that's when you have success. So I was the most prepared person there. And after that tryout session, I remember one of the coaches like pulling me. He was like, "Hey, can we see you do this drill again and this drill again?" And I was one of the few that they did. So it gave me like an idea that I make the team. And then like literally like 2 days later, I got the text from the coach and he was like, "You're an Ohio State Buckeye." I came in, I got my equipment, saw Coach Meyer for the first time, like seeing a celebrity. Like I wrote it, no silver spoons. It was just I was always used to working harder than others for what I truly wanted, never letting anybody stop me from getting what I wanted in life, and never using any excuses or any setbacks as a something to defeat me. I think that mental toughness from football and like I ended up getting to the point where I can earn a scholarship my senior year and just developing that mental toughness with all the training, the practices, while balancing school, it helped me in my career as well. Because some days are going to be better than others. Some days you're going to be low. Some days you're going to be stressed. But at the end of the day, nobody really cares. It's everybody has a sad story. Everybody goes through something. It's just having that ability to maintain that mental toughness and perseverance to get through anything in life. So that was my main takeaway from that.
Uh, That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Not a lot of people, so I want to credit Ohio State. I'm sure you built mental toughness and grit there, but you came in with it too, it sounds like. Is that something that was part of your upbringing? Do you feel like it was just part of your personality your whole life, or how did you develop that before you even got there?
Yeah, I think it was part of my upbringing. I'm the oldest sibling of a four-boy household. So I had a lot of responsibility growing up. I'm from Youngstown, Ohio, which isn't a neighborhood of roses and daisies. It's a tough area. I think that chip on my shoulder, like I carried that throughout my life. I
For
mean,
you, you've turned it into something good. I love it.
if you meet anybody from Ohio, you'll know it because of the Ohio pride that they have.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, my next door neighbor's from Ohio, and he's definitely
Yeah.
got some Ohio State stuff on the cars and on the house. So it is a real thing, that pride. Absolutely. So that's
Yes.
awesome, man. I had a great time chatting. Was there anything we didn't touch on?
I know we dove into a lot.
We don't have to throw more on there. I do want to make sure people know where to find you online.
The best place to find me online, I would say you can find me on LinkedIn at Tre Forte. You can find me on tntgrowth.com, which is our agency site. I'd say those are the two biggest things. I'll have a decent following on Instagram, always posting marketing or motivational stuff. You'll see the fitness side of me there. My Instagram is at TGI Forte.
Awesome. I will put links to all that in the show notes. Well,
Perfect.
Trey, thank you for sharing your experience and expertise. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Hopefully, we'll do it again sometime.
Yeah, for sure. Always down.
Have a great one.